Good evening. Welcome to the April 10th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, go roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. We just have one say tonight, correct? Are there any changes to the minutes? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We have motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up will be Police Department. Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 534 calls for service. A total of 25 people were arrested for the following crimes: 4 for operating while intoxicated, 3 were wanted on a warrant, 3 for domestic battery, 2 for public intoxication, 1 for battery, 1 for criminal recklessness, 1 for resisting law enforcement, 1 for possession of a controlled substance, 7 for possession of meth, 1 for possession of cocaine, 1 for unlawful carry of a handgun. In that same time frame, LPD took 29 crash reports and sent off 1 handgun carry license application to the state for final approval. For training, Officer Michael Custis completed the gun sight pistol class at our range. We hosted that, so he was able to attend it for free. It covers the combat triad, marksmanship, gun handling, and mindset. Tomorrow, LPD will be hosting the annual Child Advocacy Center training. This is where they update us with the procedures and stuff that they can do for us. And with spring break being last week, we didn't have a lot of training, so that's all I got for tonight.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief and the board? Anything from public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be Fire Department. Chief Baths.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 120 emergency calls of service, logged 323 training hours, performed 9 commercial pre-plans, finalized 87 commercial inspections, and performed 3 car seat fittings. Starting April 3rd and running through the end of the month, firefighters Spencer Kearns, Wes Bankert, Josiah Heath, and Kyle Plummer are completing the Indiana State Certification for Instructor 1. This is a base certification for our department members that want to advance and become ride-out officers and then attain rank. We have 7 recruits in the Northside Fire Academy. The academy started on April 3rd and runs through August 4th. This week, firefighters are completing low-angle rescue training. Training focuses on rigging, patient assessment, and patient packaging. LHS interns Rachel Kersey and Nick Stewart participated in the training. We would like to thank the Shepherd family for allowing us to train on their family farm. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board?
No.
Okay, anything from public? Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
All right, next is Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. Prep work was completed last week in the pool vessel, and the painting has started today. Should be complete in the next week and a half, depending on weather. So looking forward to that. Phase 2 at Reese Park has started with the lift station, and that work should be done by complete by November. You'll see some mounds of dirt. They'll level it out. They're keeping it very contained, and that's going along real well. The guys are really easy to work with. We will be applying weed control in our parks for the next couple of weeks. We've been working downtown in the beds to get them ready to plant. They have been cleaned and mulched, and also having started Gene Haas trimming and mulching out there. The Park Board adopted the 2023-2028 Lebanon Parks Master Plan. I want to thank everyone took the time to voice their opinions and thoughts and submitted the survey to help us within the last for our 5-year master plan. Also the stakeholders, appreciate everybody's input. Our 2023 Easter egg hunt was wonderful. The weather was beautiful this last Saturday, and we had a very large turnout. Families were able to enjoy an Easter egg hunt as well as receive a picture with the Easter Bunny. I want to give a special thank you to Jack Carroll, Purity Wholesale Grocers, Patty Bohannon and her class. They filled all the Easter eggs. Traveling Tom's Coffee came out, nice little break there. And Freedom Church for all their help with the picture taking. Also want to thank the mayor for helping us out, and our park staff, our awesome park staff, for their hard work in organizing this event. Look forward to next year. Mayor, what we have, Tanya, you know, thousands and thousands of eggs, and you were timing it. How long did it take?
The older group was about 15 seconds.
There you go. It's unbelievable. And I'm talking, that was our largest egg hunt that we had. I don't know how many thousands, but unbelievable. And yeah, they were quick. Again, thank you for attending, appreciate it, and your help with that. Our 2023 Spring Pickleball League is now in session. We received 12 teams, and everyone's having a good time. The league will run into mid-June, and we'll have a summer tournament then, probably under the lights. They like that. We recently posted about our 2023 Princess Party in the park. This will be held on Sunday, May 7th at the Her Cabin from 11 to 2. Guests can visit with Rapunzel and Sleeping Princess and enjoy crafts, cookies, and punch. Tickets are purchased at the door and will be $5 per child. That's been very well received. We've had superheroes, and now we have Rapunzel and Sleeping Princess, so it ought to be very nice. And that's all I had.
Okay, thank you, John. Any questions for the board from John?
No.
Anything from the public?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next will be Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Good evening. Pull up my report here. All right, engineering report for April 10th. Hard to believe it's already April, but if you traveled around our city today, you saw all the construction that seemed to all start at once today. So it's that season, and with the warm weather brings a lot of activity. First at the top of the list is all the resurfacing projects, a little over 2 miles of resurfacing on the books for this year. And Howard Companies is out there working on that. They began the milling operations today. Previously, in the colder months, they had completed all the sidewalk ramp replacements. And so really this week is focused on milling, and then they'll follow back with deep patching, and then the resurfacing and striping. There's a detailed schedule, but I will say that for the most part, all this work, and with the weather cooperating, is planned to be completed this week. And again, they'll roll from one project to the next. They started on East Street. So it's typically 1 day of milling, 1 day of deep patching, 1 day of surfacing. So it was East Street started today, West Washington Street starts tomorrow. Then we look at Outer Drive and Noble Street getting kicked off on Wednesday. Thursday, then we'll be moving to the Chadwick neighborhood, Monroe Crescent, Madison Court, Monroe Court, and then also looking at Sherry Drive and Berry Drive, also starting on Thursday. Then Friday, we start that same process with Anderson Lane. This is primarily Anderson Lane west of the railroad tracks, or 250 north, as you might know it, west of the railroad tracks over to Witt Road. Again, each project is about a 3-day operation, from milling to deep patching to surfacing, and really we're looking at wrapping up most of that this week. The Anderson Lane work will probably bleed into Monday, but we'll see how that goes, and then following up with all the striping at once on all projects. mentioned Anderson Lane, that side of the world, the Whit Road Bridge, final punch list work has started. We had a crew on site last week. There'll be a crew will be back out on Wednesday, and then really mobilized all of next week to start punching out the final repairs. So they've been doing some of the patching work, or the repair work on the bridge railings. They've saw cut the concrete for replacements. They'll be wrapping up that work then over the next couple of weeks. Whit Road, the road project is still out there. We're in the very early phases of reconstructing Whit Road from Lafayette Avenue to a little bit north of Austin Drive. Survey work is ongoing and not scheduled to be complete until mid-May. We've also sent out initial coordination notices with utilities. Other bridge work, the Elmwood Bridge, we completed the resurfacing on Friday, and so really all we've got left to do is the sod work, and that'll be scheduled for the next couple of days as the weather permits. I can't promise it'll be this week, but it'll be here shortly as that work gets wrapped up. We're also meeting on driveway coordinations tomorrow afternoon to get those items scheduled. Again, as we get into warmer weather, we'll be getting ready to pour concrete and getting those drives replaced that we need to. I did want to let everyone know that we did receive one notice of potential damage associated with the bridge work, some cracked drywall or plaster. This has been turned over to the contractor's insurance company for handling and addressing those issues. But I do want to point out that pre-construction inspections did note some potential concerns on this property, some structural issues that appear to be evident at the prior to construction. Also worthy of note is that vibration monitoring at that home did not note any vibrations that would be in excess of common exceedance levels associated with the national standard through the U.S. Bureau of Mines for blasting operations. So again, that's the standard we follow to make sure we're not vibrating things too much, and we never did breach those standards. But again, we're working through that with the contractor and their insurance company. Other projects, Grant Street, happy to report the Center Point did vacate their high-pressure gas main in that area. Did that prior to construction starting today, and so that relieves a lot of complications associated with the construction, not having to deal with the work around that high-pressure gas main. That was 80 years old, so definitely was concerning that we would have to be working in and around that gas main. Work did start today, so we're in what we call phases 2 and 3 of the project, which is to build the east half of the road, then build the west half of the road. The road is partially closed at this point. You can drive north through the Grant Street corridor. Southbound traffic will be diverted. We will have a small full closure on Thursday, the 13th. That's to complete some water system tie-ins that are right at the intersection of Grant and Fordyce. Fordyce remains open. This is in the pavement, though, just south of Fordyce. There will be flaggers that will be there down at Washington Street and at Fordyce directing traffic around that closure. That will be closed for no longer than one day. In fact, it's more of like a couple-hour operation, but we're going to give ourselves a whole day just to make sure we've got it covered. I do want to let everyone know that left turns from Grant Street onto William Street do remain open. You will be able to turn left onto William Street, although there is a detour established that goes up to Fordyce and down Ann Street, and we are encouraging, with the help of our friends at the school corporation, for parent drop-off to take that route, just because of the limited access during construction. We really don't want all those parents backing up onto Grant Street. So, but that is in place, and you will be able to turn left onto William Street and Ann Street. That intersection will not be reconstructed until this summer after school is out. And I will just warn everyone that we will have to have some intermittent closures, just given the tight proximity of all the work. But we'll keep everyone posted through our social media outlets. We'll keep all of our public safety and transportation officials notified of those as well as we move through the construction season. But we've had a pretty uneventful day one, which is always what we hope for. Grant Street Phase 2, nothing really to report. Remember, that's a 2027 project. We're just working through right-of-way acquisitions at this point. Fordyce Street, that reconstruction scheduled for 24-25. Again, trying to align that with the construction of the new elementary school and the opening in the fall of 2025. Big Four Trail expansion, the rural section, we had a pre-construction meeting, was held last week. All things are moving forward. We do have our county right-of-way permits in place. Those were approved on April 4th. And again, work is expected to start on April 17th. So a week from today, we'll see the trail begin to close intermittently throughout the section between here and Thorntown as we begin milling off that surface and getting ready for repaving. North Street project, all the lighting work is complete. We're working through final change orders and pay applications. Some of those will be on your agenda for later tonight. Stone Eater Bike Park, we are probably starting this week to haul in the earthwork. I've been talking about that for a while. This is based on the donation of roughly $2 million worth of earthwork from our the New Cold project. And we're working with them and their contractor, local contractor Merit Contracting, who will begin hauling that work in. And we're also, later tonight at this meeting in the city council, will be considering, due to cost savings of about $350,000, of awarding the earthwork project, the mass earthwork contract for the bike park to Merit so they can place that dirt as they are hauling it in. And the state code for project procurement allows for some exemptions there because of that extreme cost savings associated with that $2 million earthwork donation. NDOT entry permits have all been obtained. IDEM approval is still pending. We did receive minor comments on the 6th of March. We're working on that response that hopefully will go back in no later than a week from today. Ready grant approval is now all finalized. We did hold our procurement meeting on March 7th, and we're working through that process. The Ready Committee has also approved and authorized the use of a CMC delivery method for that project. Keep in mind, we're looking at $2 million Phase 1, and that's made up of $500,000 of ARP money, American Rescue Plan money, $750,000 of Ready money, and then a match, dollar-for-dollar match on the Ready money through the sanitation fund, the balances that are there, totaling just a little over $2 million for our Phase 1 project. Presented all these updates also to the Parks Board last week. No major changes or updates or revisions that were requested by the Parks Board at this time. Active Living Projects, our cost share program for sidewalk replacements, is now open. I believe we have 7 applications as of yesterday that have been filed. There might have been another 1 or 2 came in today, so that's moving forward. It's been an incredibly successful program. We'll also be using our other Active Living monies to start working on sidewalks along Southeast Street, kind of a opposite side from the trail that went in last year. Regional detention, still moving forward, still working on the approvals from CSX and NDOT for our regional conveyance system. Also, we have reached our final agreement with Ken's Foods on the property purchase. We're in our inspection period. Survey work started last week, and we'll look to close in the next 30 to 60 days there and get that complete, and then begin looking at our next regional detention project. We're also are finalizing our land swap agreement with New Cold. Revised survey documents have been delivered to us from New Cold, and the revised purchase agreement was adjusted accordingly and sent back to them for comment. Also looking to close probably in the next 30 to 60 days. Riley Road widening, is moving forward. Just waiting on appraisal updates so that we can reconvene our buying operations for the right-of-way needed for widening the road. And then last but certainly not least is our inspection update for this Actually, since March 27th through today, we've had 8 SWIP inspections, 10 right-of-way permits have been issued, and as you can imagine, not just city projects, but a lot of our private developer projects are also underway as the weather has turned, and we're looking to spring and summer. Any questions I can answer?
Questions for Kevin from the board? No. Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Planning Department, Ben Bodricker.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department over the last couple of weeks completed 79 building inspections, which, keep in mind, that includes the spring break week. So one of our building inspectors was very busy over the last couple of weeks, and I also heard that we had one guy scheduled for 14 inspections today. So we're definitely seeing construction activity ramp up significantly. We did also issue 34 building permits over the last couple of weeks, and I can attest to 25 of those because I processed them myself when Lebanon was on spring break. So again, very busy on the permit activity. That does include 7 new residential home permits, so again, seeing great activity there as well. We did have a plan commission filing deadline that occurred a couple of weeks ago and did get 2 new filings. One was for Fairfield Inn and Bar Louie. They will both are proposed for construction in the Lebanon Gateway Marketplace project, so we will see another hotel and another restaurant that will take place in that development. And the second is a development called Spring Creek, which is a mixed-use development we're expecting at the northwest corner of State Road 39 and 300 North. Was formerly a project that Beazer was looking at, so that's coming back around. So that's a rezone filing that'll take place. These are for all the the May Plan Commission meeting. So a couple good projects coming forward there. On the code enforcement side, as you can imagine, now that it's starting to warm up, that means everybody's grass and weeds are growing, so we'll start seeing activities ramp up as we start getting junk and trash and weeds and grass complaints, but so a lot of good activity happening there. As I mentioned last time, again, we're really pushing hard on some programs that we're hoping to ramp up with Habitat for Humanity coming up here and hopefully the next month or so. So looking forward to announcing those once we get everything finalized here at the Board of Works and council meetings to let everybody know what those programs look like to help out some of our neighborhoods. So looking forward to ramping those up over the next month or so. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board?
No.
Anything from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's it going? We're just fixing some potholes now that should be able to do a little better now that the plants are opening up, so that's good for us. Get rid of the cold mix and get the actual patch. Keeping the easements clean of trash like usual, keeping our drains clean of debris. Debris week, or we call it debris week, but it's really spring cleanup week is still going on. We did it last week, which most of it got rained out from the storms. I had to pull off. We had some trees down and stuff, so one was across 250 there, so we had to clean that up. But this week we're back at it. I think last week, to give you an idea how much brush was out, we didn't even make it through Monday's trash route, so there's a lot of brush out. But that's pretty common for, over the winter. But we'll be out this week and next week as well, so it'll get it caught up. Now that the weather's nice, it even helps, because we had, like I said, we had to pull off a little bit last week for the storms. And then after that, the brush dates are May 8th through the 12th, June 12th through the 16th, July 10th through the 14th, August 14th through the 18th, September 11th through the 15th, and then we'll wrap it up October 16th through the 20th. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave from the board? Alan?
Refresh my memory on the pothole number for people to call.
Oh, sure, I had it on here. It's 765-482-8870, and then just push the number 4.
And you can also report that on the city app website as well, too. Report a complaint, and that goes they'll go to Dave's team as well. Any other questions for Dave?
No.
Anything from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Communications and Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a great Easter weekend. Hot off the presses, the lineup just got finalized today, and the event link is now out for Boone County Summerfest 2023. That'll be taking place on Friday, June 2nd and Saturday, June 3rd. On Friday, the Midwest Originals will be kicking things off, followed by the Flying Toasters making their return to Lebanon. On Saturday, Rich Hardesty gets things going, followed by the Indigos, and then wrapping up with Country Summer. This is the third, I believe, year for the event. It's grown every year. There'll be vendors once again, food and beverage, and also craft and other item vendors as well. But just on Saturday, you may notice in years past it was a Saturday-Sunday event, but because of a lack of crowd on Sunday, we're kicking things off in the evening on Friday, having a street party, street dance, and then really ramping things up for Saturday afternoon and going to the evening. And so more details are now posted on an event link. You can get there by heading up and seeing the City of Lebanon's Facebook page. I'll put it online as well for everyone to see. Anybody out there wanting to be a vendor, you can send an email to info@lebanon.in.gov to kind of get that conversation so we can have a map for everyone to be. It's free to set up and vend, similar to years past. Also, with spring now upon us, better weather means more events are kind of popping up like those spring flowers. We have an event calendar where you can go to right off our homepage. It's highlighting area events citywide. It's a one-stop shop citywide for events. You can send an email if you'd like your events posted there. I try to peruse and stalk Facebook to be able to find some event links there. But Lebanon@lebanon.in.gov is the email for that particular event calendar kind of mode of conversation. And finally, wrapping up my report for this evening, our last two podcasts that we did for the Love in Lebanon podcast, we talked about area infrastructure projects with Kevin Krulik. You saw and heard his report earlier. It's extensive, and Kevin goes into detail about some things and really gives some good insight there. And also, we recapped the first half of the Lebanon Leprechaun season and looked ahead to the second half of the season, and that happened and dropped this morning. And so you can catch up to date there. Ideas for episodes, if you know anyone that would like to be a guest or you yourself, and you can shoot that email to the email address I mentioned previously, loveinlebanon@lebanon.in.gov. Also, finally tonight, the CSX mural that Anita Gordon is headlining for us on Camp Street near Harney Elementary. With the better weather, she plans to be out this week doing some touch-up and things and getting ready to really get that canvas covered up from what it is now into having that Van Gogh kind of theme that I've showed you previously. So looking forward to that and sharing some community creation days as well so the public can get out and take part in that event. And I'm happy to answer any questions that are out there.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? From the public? Thank you, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. There's nothing on my agenda. Is there anything from the board?
No.
Okay, new business then. First item up is a street closure request from the Heart of Lebanon. Missy Kulik.
Hello, Missy Krulik with the Heart of Lebanon. I have the street closure request for 2023. Went ahead and submitted those to you. And you should have got them with your email. It includes our special events, Mischief on Meridian, Christmas on the Square, and Oktoberfest. Our reoccurring events, closures, Boone County Bike Night and Music on the Plaza, Car Cruisin', Music on the Plaza, Lebanon City Markets, and some parking space closures for some special treats in the downtown with Kona Ice, and our blood drive parking space closures. So.
Did everybody have a chance to review those? Yep. We okay doing those as kind of one lump sum, or do we want to do them individually?
Might as well do it as a group.
As a group?
I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. I wanted to make it an offer to you. Okay, we would entertain a motion then to approve the annual street closure requests from the Heart of Lebanon as presented to the board.
I make a motion, we approve the street closure request as presented for Heart of Lebanon.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Dick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Do you need a copy of them?
I just need a copy.
Okay, we'll make sure we get those to you. So, all right, that's approved. All right, thank you, Missy. And thanks for putting that together like that this year. That was much easier.
Makes it a whole lot better.
I'm learning as I go along, so thank you.
More efficiency. All right, great. Next item up is a street closure request as well for the Boone County Unified. We have Major Mount presenting this.
Good evening, Board of Works members. I'm here today to ask for a street closure for Police Week 2023, which May 8th, 2023, between 5:30 and 8:30 PM. And I have this brochure, I don't know if you want to look at it or not, but we're asking and working, it's called Boone County Unified. We're working with Boone County, Zionsville, Whitestown PD, all police agencies in the county to put this on. It's a chance for the community to meet and greet police officers and honor fallen officers of the past. So there's booths, and we'll have different police vehicles up there. The actual street closure I'm requesting, and I have a drawn map here, I don't know how to turn this on.
You just
but-
put it there, they can turn on from the back, I believe. Just on the Elmo machine there? Yep.
Just right here?
Yep,
Yeah,
on
just
the,
like right
on the
on
white,
top.
yep.
Oh,
On the
like-
white,
Yeah,
there
right
you go.
there.
There you go.
There it is.
You see it? Oh, there we go. So the first is the north side of the square, Lebanon and Washington Street would be shut off all the way to Meridian and Washington. That little stuff there, there'll be police vehicles and things set up that people can look at. Then the next part is from Meridian and Main Street all the way to North and Meridian. So that little section there between, on the library on the west side. So that's what we're requesting to be closed down, probably from 5P to 9P, because we need 30 minutes to set up. The event starts at 5:30, finishes at 8:30, and then at the end, get everything cleaned up, open it back up. So it's a real good thing. We're working together, all agencies, and it gives a chance for people to come out and meet us and all that.
And just confirm that was May 8th, correct?
May 8th, starting at 5:30.
So you want a closure from 5 to 9?
5 to 9, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Any questions for Major Mount on that?
No.
Okay. Would entertain a motion then to approve as requested.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request as presented.
The motion approved as presented, is there a second? Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that's approved. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for organizing that.
All right, thank
That was
you.
a great event. Are you doing the surplus items as well, or is that Chief? All right, hand it back over. All right.
Chief, you're going to do that.
Next up, surplus items request from the 11 Police Department. Chief Morgan.
Good evening again. So we have two vehicles that we're wanting to surplus. Kind of a sad evening for one of them.
Give the mayor the first.
Do you want to play taps for it at the end here?
Could we please? I'm going to save that one for last, just in case something happens. So the first one's going to be our CSI Transit van. It's a 2018, last six on the VIN, A47950. We're wanting to surplus it because we're going to replace it with two smaller. That way it frees up two vehicles that we've already got. And it's only got 1,800 miles on it at this point. We've had it since 2018. So it's not getting used enough to warrant keeping. So this will free up some cars, save the city some money. So we're going to turn it over, I think at this point, to Enterprise is the plan. We had a deal working with Lafayette PD, and it didn't work out. So if we can surplus it, it'll go to Enterprise, which will then bring down the payments on our other vehicles.
We got the paperwork turned in, and we'll make sure we get that picked up, and they take it to the dealer auction.
Sounds good.
Any questions on that vehicle? Okay. Would entertain a motion to declare the 2018 Ford Transit van as surplus?
I make a motion, we approve the 2018 Ford Transit van for surplus.
Motions, there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's approved. All right. Cue the taps for the final vehicle. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Chief.
Okay,
Sorry, inside joke here a little bit on this one.
All right, so the last vehicle we're getting rid of is our last Crown Vic. It's 2009. It's a sad day. Last six on the VINs, 129007. We're going to get rid of it. It was our backup for our K9, so it has a K9 cage in there, and I guess we don't need it anymore. So,
Estimated value on it, Chief?
$800.
Okay. Just wanted, yeah, I think that's a stretch. That's generous.
So I guess we're going to get rid of that one too.
Okay.
Any questions for Chief on that? I appreciate you finally, I know it's hard to let go, but,
I know.
so, any questions for Chief on that?
No, I've asked him every week when I go over there when he wants to get rid of it.
Well, you finally wore him down, so. All right, would entertain a motion then to approve the final Crown Vic 2009 to be declared surplus.
I make a motion, we approve the Ford Crown Vic 2009 for surplus.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All those fair say aye. Aye. Those opposed, it is declared surplus.
So, just so you know, it'll be there for just a little longer, because now that it's surplus, we have to strip it.
Yeah.
In case anybody wants to drive by and look at it.
We're going to set up a memorial for it.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, little levity tonight. All right, next up, professional services authorization for Christopher Burke Engineering, LLC, from Ken Frillick.
Thank you very much. This is straightforward. As many of you know, Christopher Burke does all of our stormwater reviews and consulting for the city, our MS4 consulting, and it's just time to renew their contract. So what we have is an agreement, not unlike agreements we put in place for, probably 15 years now, and so this is just updating that agreement. There is a slight increase in the hourly rate, but nothing out of the ordinary here, nothing that is different, substantially different than previous contracts we have signed with them. So for your consideration is the professional services agreement for Christopher B. Burke Engineering, LLC, for stormwater-related consulting services.
And we use Christopher Burke because they also do it for the county as well, and it just kind of works.
Yeah,
better that way,
I don't even, there's probably 85 counties in the state and probably, 500 municipalities they consult with. They are really the go-to people for stormwater consulting in the state, and they've done most of the global studies for the state at the DNR and those DNR and IDEM levels, and are pretty much the go-to people for authorship of standard stormwater ordinances as well, so.
Okay. Any other questions for Kevin on that?
No.
What's the term?
I'll make a motion, we approve the contract with Christopher Burke Engineering.
So a question?
Yeah, what's the term like? I'm forgetting that off the top of my head now. It's not annual, right? Or is it?
It is not annual, it's an open-ended term.
We just had to reset the.
Yeah, it's just something that they've asked for a reset of their hourly compensation rate.
Okay, sorry. All right, we did have a motion to approve. Was there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. All right, actually, don't go too far. So next item up here is Resolution 2023-01. Contract for movement of fill materials at Stone Eater Bike Park. Kevin?
Yeah, I mentioned this in my report, but really this centers around a donation of earthwork material, of dirt from the New Cold site. The New Cold contractor is Merit Contracting, obviously a local contractor that most of us are familiar with, and the value placed on that earthwork donation is a little bit more than $2 million. In fact, if you want a specific value, the value that New Cold put on that dirt based on their contracts to move the dirt is $2,001,066. So there's a $2 million earthwork donation, and the earthwork services are provided by Merit. So what we've looked at then is that donation includes moving and stockpiling the dirt. So building a 70,000 cubic yard pile of dirt on the bike park site, which if we were to leave it at that, we would then have to rehandle that material. So what we've looked at is cost estimating on what it would take for them to place that dirt in the shape of a bike park, if you will. So per our mass grading plans for the bike park, what it would cost to place that dirt in its final location as opposed to stockpile it and then us go through a normal bidding process to pick up that stockpile and move it to its final destination. and doing some estimating there and verifying with other contractors, we feel that there is roughly a $350,000 savings to the city to have them go ahead and move it while they are in the operations of hauling the donated earthwork to us. So state code for public work procurement allows you to forego public bidding process for certain exceptions. And one of those exceptions is if there is a substantial savings. So we feel like we have documented substantial savings. We estimate that it would be roughly $800,000 to place the dirt if it were in a stockpile on site. And we estimate that it's roughly $500,000 to place the dirt while it is being hauled to the site. So what we have before you is because of those provisions in the state code, we have to properly document why we aren't bidding this work out. We have to properly document the savings that is being afforded the city to award this project, different than the normal project procurement method. So that is the resolution before you. That's sort of my summary on it. I don't know if, Rob, if you have anything further to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
So what's the amount that we will have to pay to have this leveled down? Is that the $500,000?
The amount we will have to pay is, let me get you an exact number,
$518?
$518,924.
Okay.
So we're not asking for an appropriation. We've already have appropriations to cover these expenses. So we have $500,000 from the American Rescue Plan money. We have $750,000 from the Ready Grant award that we were given. And then later in the month, we will do an appropriation to cover the match money that has already been previously committed to by City Council to receive the ready money.
Okay,
But that'll be a separate appropriation.
Do that now.
Yeah, separate appropriation that'll be before you at the next meeting in April. The only reason that's not here tonight is because of public notice requirements when we're doing appropriations. That this way the schedule worked out, that had to go to the next meeting.
I've got a question, Kevin.
Yeah.
Has IDEM signed off on this field as being clean?
IDEM is, well, yes, IDEM has reviewed the source material.
Okay.
And have already authorized us to stockpile. You might have remembered in my report, we do not have full IDEM approval for the adaptive reuse plan. That is our plan that is required for the reuse of the repurposing and reuse of a landfill.
Right.
But they had already given us written authorization to begin moving the dirt on site. So what we're working with on IDEM now is just really the details on the final construction methods of not the earthwork, but the actual bike park construction. So utilities, parking lots, driveways, trail building, but the earthwork operation, they've already given us the go-ahead to start
Okay.
stockpiling and placing that material.
That's my only question.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kevin? I'll have Rob read the resolution, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. Resolution 2023-01 is a resolution approving the entering into a contract for the movement of fill materials. Whereas pursuant to the city's Uniform Development Ordinance, the Board of Works is the designated purchasing agent for the city with all powers and duties authorized under Indiana Code. Pursuant to Indiana Code, which authorizes this board on behalf of the city to purchase goods and services without soliciting bids or proposals where there exists a unique opportunity to obtain supplies and/or services at a substantial savings to the city. Whereas New Cold Indianapolis LLC has generously offered to donate and transport approximately 70,000 cubic yards of fill material to the Stone Eater Bike Park. This constitutes a gift of approximately $2 million, as Mr. Krulik indicated, worth of fill material and transportation services. Whereas Merit Contracting is exclusively contracted to move the fill dirt from the property being graded by New Cold. and has offered to deliver the fill materials directly to the Stone Eater Bike Park site and immediately grade it, as opposed to mounding the fill material at the Stone Eater Bike Park and grading it at a later date. Whereas mounding the fill material at the Stone Eater Bike Park site and grading it at a later date is estimated to cost approximately $870,717. Conversely, contracting with Merit to immediately grade the donated fill dirt upon its delivery to the Stone Eater Bike Park will cost approximately $518,924. Whereas the funding of the grading services with Merit will come from the American Rescue Plan and/or any other legally available sources as approved by the City Council. Whereas the fill material being donated by Newcold is necessary to creating a cap on which the Stone Eater Bike Park may be built. Whereas this board believes contracting with Merit for the delivery and grading of the donated fill material directly from the Newcold site would constitute a savings of approximately $351,793. Whereas the board believes that the $351,793 savings as outlined above constitutes a unique opportunity to obtain supplies and services at a substantial savings to the city. Therefore, the foregoing recitals are incorporated herein by reference. This board approves the city's entry into a service contract with Merit Contracting for the purposes of transporting and grading fill dirt from the property owned by Newcold, Indianapolis to the Stone Eater Bike Park, subject to the approval of the funding of the City Council. The mayor of the City of Lebanon is authorized to execute, deliver all agreements and other documents contemplated by this resolution. And this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption.
Thank you, Rob. Any further questions, discussions from council? Any public comment concerning this? Okay. I would then entertain a motion concerning Resolution 2023-01.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-01.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan, I believe. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thank you, board. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board?
We had one more thing. That was a...
Oh, that's right, the change orders. I apologize. Yep.
Sorry, this was a last-minute addition to the agenda, just some housekeeping work on our East Street lighting program. We have two change orders, change order 1 and 2, associated with the East Street lighting. Change order 1 is related to the scope of work is demo and replace concrete sidewalk at 5 locations on East Street in front of the Armory. Both sides of East Street. So this was, we had conduits placed with the East Street project, but those conduits weren't set up to cross the street at specific locations. They were just conduit that was placed behind the curb. So we kind of knew going into this that there would be a need for some additional conduit to be bored in across the street to make those final circuitry connections. So there's two change orders for you tonight. That's the first one, which is for the demo and replacement of 18.44 square yards of concrete at a cost of $9,841.04. And then the second change order is for repairing of conduit that was found to be damaged at a couple of tree locations where people along East Street have already planted some of their own additional street trees and damaged the conduit in that process. So we had to fix those, and that total, this also included the directional boring to put the conduit in on the street crossings I mentioned before with change order 1 in the association with the sidewalk removal replacement. This one was for a total of $3,067.71. So we've got two change orders. Change order 1, $9,841.04. Change order 2, $3,067.71 that I'm asking for approval so that we can process final pay applications and complete the project.
Any questions on those from the board? Okay. Do you want to do this separately or together? Together, fine? Okay. Would entertain a motion to approve change orders on the street lighting project along Northeast Street, change order number 1 and change order number 2.
I make a motion, we approve change order number 1 and change order number 2 for East Street lighting.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Those are approved. Thank you, Kevin. Sorry, I saw your email, but then I printed out the wrong agenda.
Nope,
So,
you're
sorry about
okay. Thank you.
that. Is there any other new business coming for the board?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to claims. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Motion approved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion? Okay. Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
We get that one, Bill made the motion, Dick seconded it. All right, all those here say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be April 24th at 6:15 PM. The redevelopment commission is up next.
We need to sign this document, this resolution.